at Datanomix, it was that, you know, we have the beautiful data coming out of the ERP, right? So we know how long jobs are taken, we know which are the winners, which are the losers, right? But when it comes to the data of what's happening within that job, you know, you're missing that, okay? You know, one example is, you know, so when you get a router, and, you know, so we want that ERP data to be able to requote jobs, to be accurate, to be profitable, right? And so that operator puts their cycle time on the piece of paper, says, hey, this was my cycle time, right? 100% of your cycle times is not that time, right? It's not.
That's correct.
Right? You're going to say, hey, 30% of my cycle time is, you know, 30% of my, you know, parts were this much cycle time, 20% were this much time, right? And so, you know, so what we're getting out of the machine monitoring is a level of accuracy and granularity that you just couldn't pay somebody enough to go and get, right? Because if you've got 20 machines, 50 machines, 100 machines, how do you send somebody around with a stopwatch to time every single tool, every single cycle time? And even if you did capture the cycle, you're capturing one data point on that cycle time. Whereas the machine monitor is just scraping all that data out completely automatically, right? But what we found was the value is that that data was being live to the right people at the right time. And I think that's one of the most important parts, right? And the example is, all right, so when you look at an operator on the floor, right? Everybody wants to live up to expectations. They just need to know what the expectations are, right? And so the first time I turned on that TV by the Matsuras here, and I grabbed the guys and brought them over to here to like, hey, here's the TV, this is what it is, this is Datanomix, and it had already been collecting data before the TV was on, right? And there is about this much yellow time between parts. And I told the guys, like, when you look at this TV screen, everything is editable and customizable, right? Because what motivates you is going to be different than the next guy. So if you want to see, you know, your parts per hour and how many parts you could have made in that time, you can put that on. If you want to see what your spindle utilization is, you can basically edit that, right? And you can see some of the variables that we have on our TV there. And so when I came back, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half later, there was like that much yellow time between parts, right? All I did was turn the TV on, explained it, and was just like, here's one more tool so that you can see what your machine is doing, to give you feedback. And so now, instead of, you know, management having to sit up somewhere, mine the data, make like thoughts and decisions and come back and say, do it like this, it was just putting the tools in the hand of the operator to make themselves better.
Kylan, what?